Reddity Rose report. Like Rey Mysterio, you knew it was going to happen sometime sooner or later when they put monster guys up against smaller wrestlers. Word coming out of last night's Raw is that WWE World Heavyweight Champion Daniel Bryan has a broken neck. And it was simply described as a minor break, though. But broken neck is a broken neck, man. I mean, minor or major, but Bryan will be undergoing a simple procedure on Thursday. Not something complex like neck bone fusion or something like that. I think that's what Edge had. But the belief is that he's going to be out of action for about 6 to 8 weeks. At last night's Raw, WWE officials were looking at maybe SummerSlam for a potential return. That's guarding. They don't find anything else, and I hope the hell they don't. The injury came from just years of Bryan working the in-ring style that he does, which is dangerous and high-flying and things, you know, not just one instant. Wasn't no Kane deal, but they're going to blame it on Kane. And there were some people talking like the diving headbutt from the forklift and pallet at Extreme Rules may have furthered the injury, but that's not really been confirmed yet, because I don't think they could really confirm it unless it's a boom. You can't do anything from there on. Then they know, what had happened. But anyway, regarding the status of the World Heavyweight title, the belief is that when they get done with the surgery, and if there's nothing too bad discovered, that they will likely keep the belt on Bryan. So if they get a bad report, then Bryan could, it'd have to be stripped of the title. Obviously, WWE decided to keep the title on Bryan and then change their mind at any point. So we'll know more after probably on Friday after Thursday's surgery. But there was talk backstage at last night's Raw that WWE World title, like Bryan, won't be out of action, but 1, maybe 2 months. And the feeling is WWE won't strip him after 1 or 2 months. They didn't with what's his name, with the Shield. Of course, he didn't defend it for very long. Anyway, obviously it's too early to make a call, but they're just waiting for the doctors to get in there and do the surgery and just make sure there's nothing else wrong. There were major concerns, change the subject here, about money, and that's always the major concern anywhere. At Impact Wrestling and TNA Impact Wrestling tapings on looks like this week in Orlando, specifically from the production crew, not the wrestlers. Anyway, the people in production, they were upset about being behind on pay, and it was said that if they weren't caught up pay-wise by a certain point, that they were going to walk out in the middle of last week's set of TV tapings. These threats were clearly made. They clearly made their way back to TNA management as checks were issued to people and everything is cooled off now. There was a 24-hour period where there was a lot of tension backstage, and as noted earlier, money is tighter than ever right now for TNA. But it can't be that tight if they were able to pay them, unless they went to the bank and got a loan real quick overnight and paid them. But I don't know. Anyway, WWE Legend was backstage last night in Greensboro, and that was Jim the Anvil Neidhart. Natalia wrote that they were working on a project, possibly something for the Total Divas. We'll find out later on that. Now, you can't please everybody when you see Cesaro dump Big Show over the top rope at Extreme Rules, but anyway, could be jealousy, could be, I don't know. The former WWE star Chris Masters, he recently appeared on the Roman show and commented on Cesaro slamming Big Show at WrestleMania 30 to win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal at WrestleMania 30. Anyway, he says, "I'm pretty sure that Big Show jumped for him." Well, Chris, I'm pretty sure Big Show probably didn't jump for him, because I don't think the sucker could jump. Never really seen him jump. I don't know if he can. But anyway, he said not to take anything away from Cesaro, because he looks like a talented worker who can probably bring his work down a little and his body up. But that's just my opinion. If he slammed Big Show, then I can probably press Big Show. He might be a little shorter after that, but alright. Anyway, Alicia Fox talked to Tom Phillips on the WWE app last night after her meltdown, and Alicia says she did not quit earlier. She just had a moment, and she's not a quitter. Speaking of Alicia, by the way, her and Kofi Kingston, Renee Young, they were hosting a Special Olympics event at Carter High School in Winston-Salem, North Carolina yesterday. And Sunday's episode of WWE Total Diva did not make the top 100 shows for the cable that night. This episode may have been hurt by DVR issue with some cable and satellite providers that said a Meet the Fockers movie was airing on E! At 9 o'clock instead of the Divas. It's a funny show, but I don't know. WWE has released a new King of Swing t-shirt for Cesaro, a play off the old King of the Ring logo, though. And this would be a good deal here. Jerry Lawler noted in an interview with Bleacher Report that he's working on gathering the entire Memphis wrestling library and is in talks with WWE about making the library available to the company so they can use it on the WWE network. It's a massive taping, too. Alright, this is just an FYI. Jericho said in an interview how he and Batista had a match years ago where Batista bladed himself. Well, Batista was brought into a room with Vince McMahon and Dean Malenko at the next TV tapings and was confronted with the tape from a secret ceiling cam that clearly showed Batista blading himself. Now, this must have been after they passed the internal rule not to do that, but anyway, Batista paid a $100,000 fine. Jericho paid $5,000 fine. Oh, anyway, after last night's Raw went off the air in Greenville, South Carolina, Evolution watched from the stage as Heath Slater was left alone in the ring with the Shield. Slater ended up taking a Superman punch from Roman Reigns. And John Cena taking on Bray Wyatt previously was advertised for the Dark Main Event, but didn't happen. And happy birthday to former WWE, WCW, TNA wrestler Jimmy Wang Yang. Or maybe he's just Jimmy Wang, yeah. 33 years old, 8-time NWA Junior Heavyweight Champion Donnie Hodge, 82. Also, this would have been the birthday of former NWA Southern States star Killer Carl Crump, 80 years old. And today, on this day in 2000, Wrestling World lost the first AJPW Triple Crown Champion, Jumbo Shiruta, at the age of just 49 years old. Thanks for clicking, you guys. I gotta go.